Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you guys that don't know me, hi, my name is Tanya and welcome to Honey Stories. So I did mention that most of my videos were going to be in car. So yeah. I actually figured out a way to like mount my my camera without even like the actual mount. Like, I'm a fucking genius. What are you doing, fool? Go, man. But anyways, so today is Sunday and it's so beautiful outside. Actually, I should actually close this because like the sun is like hitting my head so bad. But so today's video is going to be about kind of like more of a serious topic, I guess. I kind of wanted to talk about like my my the time that I had COVID and I actually gave birth all together. So because like I mentioned, I had a baby. Well, I'm acting like I just had a baby. No, I had a baby about 2 years ago almost. She's going to be 2 November 3rd. But so I was trying to post a video back then about my COVID / giving birth story, and I was never able to post it for some reason. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say this is kind of like an emotional subject for me because it really took a toll on me, everything all at once. I thought, like, I was very scared of like getting COVID when I was pregnant because that's when it was like at its peak. I actually like refused to go to work because of it, and I ended up still getting it. It's fucking crazy. But so when I got it, I was like, what? I was like 7 months pregnant, going on to like 8 months. And I literally had like 2 weeks to go into like my 8-month period or whatever. So it was a day, it was my boyfriend's birthday. So we decided to, well, I decided to like plan this whole like golf thing. I don't know if you guys been to Top Golf, but so I planned like a whole Top Golf thing. So I had planned that, and honestly I shouldn't have even went because I was pregnant and I was like so scared of getting COVID, but I ended up going, whatever. It was just my cousins, well, like, you know, a couple of my cousins and my sister and my baby daddy. I knew something was off because we had went to McDonald's real quick to just eat like some McChickens on the way, and like when I took the first bite of the McChicken, it tasted so off, like so fucking weird, and I was like, what the fuck? But I didn't really think nothing of it. And then like when we got there, my arm started like hurting so bad, but I thought it was maybe because we were playing golf. So I was like, oh well, it was maybe that. But then I started feeling more like crap. Like I was so drained, so fucking out of it. I just wanted to go home. I was like super big and pregnant, and I told my baby daddy, I'm like I don't feel good, like let's just go home. And then yeah, sure enough, like I got worse like throughout the night, and I really wanted to go to the hospital because I just felt like something was not right. So I told him, I kept telling him, I even called like my clinic because they're open 24 hours. So I asked him, I'm like, do you guys think I should go in? Like I just don't feel good and I'm pregnant, you know, like. And they're telling me, they're like, oh well, if you really don't feel that well, then it's up to you, it's your call, like it's your health, we don't know how you feel. So I was like, well, just give it, you know, a day. I ended up taking a whole bunch of melatonins because I couldn't sleep. I felt so weird, and like my chest was starting to hurt. Hurry the fuck up. My chest was starting to hurt. So so I was like, you know what, in the morning, like I have to go to the hospital. Like I feel so bad. So then so in the morning my baby daddy took me to the hospital, and so they kept me there. They actually kept me there, and they did a COVID test and it came back positive. And during this time my mom was sick too, and she had just got her test back and it was positive. So while literally I was in the waiting room waiting for my test results, she told me her test results and they came back positive. So I was like, fuck, I got COVID. I already know my shit's gonna come back positive. And sure enough, the nurse came in and she's like, oh, well, you tested positive for COVID, and you know, since you're pregnant, we want to keep you here to like really monitor you and monitor the baby and stuff. So I had to stay there, which I didn't mind because like I said, I was so out of it. Like I was so drained and just not myself at all. So I stayed there, and of course, like I couldn't, nobody could see me. I was there all alone. And they ended up keeping me there for a week. And when I was there, like they helped me with everything. The food like tasted like shit. I didn't feel like eating, to be honest. I couldn't really like do much. But then like towards the end of the week, I started feeling a little bit better, and like the doctors were low-key annoying the fuck out of me, because the minute I would find a comfortable spot to go to sleep, they'll barge right in and wake me up to like do vitals. And like, oh my god, like I just wanted to fucking leave, like discharge myself, because I was sick of it. So once I started feeling better, I was like, look you guys, I feel much better, like can I go home, because like this bed is so uncomfortable, I'm super pregnant, and like I just need to go home because this is not it. Like I feel better. So so the next day they let me leave, and I went home, and we had just moved out to my baby daddy and I had moved out together. So while I was in the hospital, he moved all the stuff to the new place, and so when I went home, I was actually staying at the new place. While I was there, I started like, I was feeling fine, and then maybe like 2 days in, I started feeling worse, like so bad, like I could not breathe. I could like, my chest would hurt. I would have like weird pains on my body. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't walk, I couldn't sleep, because when I laid down, I couldn't breathe like at all. Like it felt like somebody was pressing against my chest. Like it was so fucking bad. So so I told my baby daddy, I'm like, I need to go to the hospital again. And it was Halloween. It was Halloween, actually, the morning of Halloween. And so he took me. I had called my doctor first though, and I just to let her know that I was going back to the hospital because I did not feel good. Because they told me, they're like, oh, if you start feeling like this, then go. So I called her just to let her know, and she's like, okay, yeah, just go. You know, better be safe than sorry. So I went. When I got there, like they had to like wheelchair me in because I couldn't walk, I couldn't breathe, I was crying, I was like in so much pain, and I was so scared. I was scared for myself and my baby, you know, like that's super scary. So so I stayed there another week. So I was there total 2 weeks at the hospital, but it was just a little bit like spread out. When I was there, it was so bad, it was so tough. I'm just gonna park up right here really quick because I'm about to get to my destination, and oh, this lighting sucks. But yeah, when I was there, I felt so bad. Like this experience like made me so grateful for like nurses and doctors. Like you guys have no idea, like this COVID shit, like yeah, I kind of feel like it's something like man-made, but this shit's real. Got like some real fucking side effects, and they're scary. I ended up having pneumonia, and that's why I couldn't breathe, and that part was like so scary for me. Like, they had me on oxygen. My oxygen levels were so bad. They were like 40 something, and then with the mask it went up, but not all the way. It was like up maybe like 70s or low 80s, but it was so bad, you guys. And my heart rate was 154 beats per minute. And I think that's the part too, like, I don't know, you guys, I was just so scared for my life and for my daughter's, you know, health and her life. And you know, and then I couldn't have visitors, so I was just so depressed in there, so sad, so lonely. I didn't even want to be on my phone. I had no energy to be on my phone. I couldn't even use the bathroom by myself. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm so grateful for nurses and doctors, because they helped me literally wipe my fucking ass. They helped me get up, like holding me the whole time to use the bathroom. They'd wipe me. There was a time where I couldn't even get up to use the bathroom, and I had to literally pee in a fucking pan thing, and that was so sad. They had to like bring in, like, it's like a portable toilet kind of thing, and like they put it right next to your bed, so they kind of transfer you on there. And I had to use that a couple times. I couldn't shower because I had no energy. They were monitoring my baby, so they had like a monitor strapped on me like 24/7. So that was very, very uncomfortable to sleep in whenever I could sleep, because I could barely sleep. Yeah, like, I was just so uncomfortable. They had me on blood thinners every day. They would come in, take my vitals like a few times a day and the night. They'd come in, give me my pills, because they were giving me they were just giving me a whole bunch of shit, honestly, you guys. I don't even know half of the shit they were giving me, but I was just like, yes, whatever, like, for me to feel better. Like, they ended up having me sign something to treat the COVID. It's called like remdesivir, I think it's called. Yeah, remdesivir. And it's supposed to like treat COVID. So they're like, we're making you sign this, or we're having you sign this, because we're testing it right now. It's not like 100%, and you know, if anything goes wrong, then we're not at fault. But they're like, oh, we really think it works, and blah blah blah. So I was like, yes, whatever. I was so desperate. Don't, like, I don't know, in that situation you just literally do anything to try and feel better. But I know you guys, you know, outside looking in, and probably like, what the fuck, why did she do that, or why was she taking shit that she didn't even know what, you know, what she was taking. But it's like, at that situation, at that moment, like, you just want it to go away, like, what you're feeling. And so I ended up doing that. But then that same day, it was close to like when it was time, when I had almost been discharged or whatever, but I didn't know this at the time. But what I remember, like, a whole bunch of nurses came in and doctors, and I was like so scared. And they tell me, they're like, so we just want to talk to you about, you know, your daughter. And they were telling me that it's best that they do a C-section, because they don't want, I guess, to give me those doses of remdesivir while I was pregnant. And also they were kind of scared of the for the baby's health in my stomach while I, you know, had COVID. And I guess they were just more concerned about the baby, you know. And then that way I could maybe breathe a little bit better, because moms know, but like, when you get huge, it's hard for you to catch your breath, it's hard for you to breathe. So they're thinking, you know, if we take the baby out, you know, you'll probably be able to breathe a little bit better too. And it would probably help you out a lot, you know, feeling better and stuff. So they didn't even recommend it. They told me I had to get this shit done. So I was like, okay. Literally that morning they told me when I woke up, and then they told me I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink nothing, because they were literally gonna do the C-section 3 hours from then. So I'm over here freaking the fuck out by myself, preparing for the C-section. Fucking car, I'm over here getting emotional. Preparing for the C-section, and I just didn't know what to think. I was just so depressed, you guys, like fuck, man. And I couldn't even talk to anyone, because like I said, I didn't want to be on my phone. I didn't have the energy to do that shit. So but I managed to, you know, tell my baby daddy and my mom what was going on, and they were just sending me lots of love, and you know, all my cousins were like, you know, showing me lots of love, and just asking how I was doing, and really concerned about me. And I love them so much for that, honestly. But yeah, and then what also like got me messed up was that my mom would call the doctors to see how I was doing, because I wasn't updating her, because you know. So this doctor tells her that I'm okay, but that they still have to like keep checking on me, because like I'm getting worse, and sometimes like a patient will get better, and then the next day they're dying. And I'm like, why the fuck would you tell my mom that? Like, why would you tell my mom that? So she's freaking the fuck out, and then meanwhile I'm over here gonna get this C-section done, while they're like super worried about me. I'm on my way to get a C-section, and so all I remember was that, well, I remember everything actually. Why am I saying all I remember? So I remember they took me in the bed, because I couldn't get up, I couldn't move. So they transferred me to the room on the bed, and then I remember they were telling me that to not worry, because I was like, oh, you know, my breathing. So they had me elevated, because every time I laid straight on my back, I couldn't breathe, like for shit. So when I get to the room, there's a whole bunch of doctors and nurses in there, and so that kind of freaked me out. And there was the bed where they were going to perform the C-section, and I remember them telling me that they were going to transfer me from that bed to the other bed, but since I couldn't move, I figured like they would, that's why there were so many doctors there, so they could like help lift me and put me on the other bed. And but no, like these nurses were fucking assholes, and they're like, no, you have to get up, come on, like you could do it. And I'm like, no, I can't. And but I was able to. I gave myself like a little push, because so I lifted my butt up a little bit. And yeah, they had me lay all the way back. And I remember when they took my oxygen mask off, I freaked the fuck out, because they had to put a different mask on while I was there. And then they gave me the epidural, or they like numbed the fuck out of like my waist down, so I couldn't move like my feet or nothing. And then I remember I freaked the fuck out, and I was telling the doctor, I'm like, no, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And she's like, you're okay, you're gonna be okay, just calm down, relax, calm down. And I'm like, no, I can't breathe. And I thought I was gonna die. I was like hyperventilating, and I was like going crazy. And then finally I like calmed down, because when she put the mask on, she didn't put it on right. I felt like I couldn't breathe. So I finally like calmed down, and I was just like, I'm not gonna die. And then so I was telling myself that, and it happened so fast. They had strapped me, so like I was like laying down like Jesus. And then I just feel like a whole pressure on my stomach when they took Camila out. That's my daughter's name, Camila. So when they took Camila out, I felt a whole pressure like on my stomach. Then I felt them push down, and then I heard her crying, and then they're like, oh, the baby, she's out. And then I was like, oh my god, like I was so happy and excited, but I couldn't really like show it that much because of what I was feeling and like how I was laying and everything. And it was just so sad because I was so alone, and well, I felt so alone. And I couldn't even hold my baby when she came out. I could not hold her because I still had COVID. So the way that they showed me Camila was from a distance, and she was like 12 feet away from me, even more than that. I think maybe like, excuse me, fuck, she was like 15 feet away from me. And I saw her, and I remember I was squinting, and I was like, oh my baby. But I couldn't hold her, and that shit fucked me up. That shit really fucked me up. But it was so crazy because after that they took me to like, I guess a room where like patients recover from like C-sections and stuff like that. And so I was there. I remember they put me on like some hardcore ass pain pills, but oh my god, I knocked the fuck out in that room. I was like, what? Sleep. I was asleep. That must have been the best sleep I ever fucking had, like on some real shit. And I remember there was like, it was so dim, the room, and then I heard like water drips in the background, and I was like, oh shit. But then I'm like in this deep ass sleep, and a dumbass doctor comes in, not even knowing what the fuck happened. He's asking me stupid ass questions that the doctors know already, the other ones that were like attending me. And I was like, why are you asking me this? I'm like, I'm trying to sleep. I'm like, leave me alone. The fuck, like, bro. And then he copped the attitude with me because I told him to leave me alone. I'm trying to sleep. But I mean, what the fuck? Like, I just went through all that bullshit, and you're talking this dumbass shit. Like, that shit blew the fuck out of me. So I told him that, and he left. And then so later on in the day, a nurse came in. She was like my favorite nurse. Like, I literally wanted to like show Camila have the nurse meet my baby. Like, that's how much like I appreciated this woman so much. And like, she was talking to me, trying to like calm me down, make me feel better. And I didn't know that they put like a catheter, I think that's what it's called, like in my pee hole. I did not know that. So she's like, I'm just gonna take this thing out, it might hurt a little bit. And she just pulled it out. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, what was that? She's like, we put like a tube in your pee hole, so because you're numb down there, so you could pee. She's like, you peed a lot. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even know. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, no wonder I didn't have to use the bathroom. So that shit was so funny. But then after laying there in that room, I did not want to leave that room. I wanted to stay there till I was discharged, but they didn't let me. They had to move me to another room. And then in that room, that's when like the other nurses came in, like more for like the baby stuff, and they were helping me like pump milk out of my boobs, and because I didn't know what I was doing, so they were helping me. And then some other nurses went in, and they were asking me like how I was doing, like my mental, because I just went through all that bullshit and I couldn't even see my daughter. So I was like, oh, I'm fine. But I think that I felt that way at the time because I was on those drugs that they put me to go to sleep, so, or to not feel the pain. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm fine. Why? And she's like, well, you know, some moms, like, they get really sad and depressed, like after going through, you know, that. And then so I was like, no, I'm fine. Like, okay. They're like, let us know if anything. And then they did. So finally, I'm gonna fast forward because this video is like getting really long. But then finally I was able to go home, and I was still good. I was fine. And then maybe like a day or two in it, while I was home, shit hit me because I had to leave Camila there in the NICU because she was premature. And the whole COVID stuff, she didn't have COVID. They tested her for COVID. She didn't have it, thank God. But yeah, she had to stay there because she wasn't eating on like the bottle, so they had a tube down her her nose. They put a tube in her nose to feed her through her nose. So that shit was kind of hard to watch. But I couldn't even see her still after the fact. And like, it hit me so hard, like a day or two while being at home without her. Like, it was like, oh, I don't want to cry. What the fuck? I'm trying not to cry. Because when I first filmed this video, I was sobbing, and I thought maybe like time passing it would change, but it fucking didn't. But yeah, I couldn't even see her. I had to like just FaceTime her and like just see her through like the video or whatever. Like while I was at home, I was going through it. It was like a part of me was like gone. Like a part of me was missing. Like I was missing an arm or a fucking leg or like my heart. And so I remember I would cry all the time, but like crying like somebody died. Like, it was so bad. I couldn't sleep. I would stay awake till like 6 in the morning, just cleaning, organizing shit, distracting my head. And I remember my baby daddy saying like, go to sleep, like what are you doing? And I'm like, I can't, like I want her, I miss her so much, like I just want her in my arms, bro. So I had to do that. I had to keep her there without seeing her for like about a week or so. Then finally they had told me I didn't have COVID anymore, my symptoms were gone, so they said I could go see her. So I was like, bet, say less. So me and my baby daddy go, and we were originally supposed to take turns. He does like 2 hours and I do 2 hours. But bro, I could not just do 2 hours. I was in that room for like 6 hours, and he was kind of mad at me because, you know, he wanted to see her too, and he was waiting for me in the car. So and both parents couldn't go, so he was pretty upset that he couldn't go. But I'm like, I'm sorry, I just been through all this bullshit. Like, I just needed to spend time with her, and even that time wasn't even enough. Like, I couldn't even leave her, bro. Like, the moment I left her, I was sobbing again. I was crying so bad, all the way to the walk all the way to the parking lot to get in the car. Like, so then later on he calmed down because he understood, and then he could have always went the next day to like go see her, because it was like a 24-hour thing. If I wanted to, I could have slept over there too. But yeah, so then the next day comes and he finally was able to see her, and it was just such a great moment, you know. But also such a hard time leaving. That was the thing that like would like have me going crazy, was when I had to leave. And like when I would go, I would actually go by myself after that. Every single day I would take the milk, so I would pump the milk from home, take it so she could drink it. And then so I was just doing that every single day. And so I would go home, I wouldn't be able to sleep, I would wake up super early, go to the hospital to be with Camila all day, and then go back home, not sleep again, and just do it over and over again every day until she was able to finally come out. And so yeah, that's my story. She was able to come out finally after like maybe 2 or 3 weeks of being in the NICU. And I'm just so grateful and blessed that we are okay. And I want to just thank my family and friends for keeping me and my baby Camila in their prayers, and you know, always had us on their mind, sending us love and positivity. And I just feel like without them and their thoughts, I would probably not have been here. And like, that's the shit that eats at me, is that I could have fucking died. And even worse, you know, we both could have died. And just like thinking about it, it just, man, that shit, like, I will never forget those moments. I will never ever forget that moment in my fucking life, ever, because that's so traumatic to go through, you know, especially by yourself. And it's just fucked up, man. So fucked up. But yeah, it's crazy though, because when Camila was out already, I could breathe again way better. Not 100%, but way better. Like, it was crazy. I feel like she was mostly the one, like, you know, because of her weight. She's so big. Because even when she came out, since she was premature, she was still like a decent weight. She was like almost like 7 pounds. So if I would have waited the full term, she would have been a big ass baby. Because when I was born, my mom said I was like almost 10 pounds. I was like 9 point something pounds. So I'm like, I already know this baby's gonna be big. But she's so beautiful and I love her to death, and I'm just so grateful to be alive. I'm grateful that Camila's here with us, you know, safe and healthy, and she's just so amazing and loving. I love her so much. But I'm just gonna cut it here. I don't think I'm forgetting anything, but if I do, I'll mention it in the next video. But I just kind of wanted to just talk about this shit, man, because COVID is no joke, man. I know, like, there's rare cases now. I guess it's like kind of fading out, but still, you know, be careful. And yeah, like, you just never know how it might affect you. And I just didn't think I was gonna get the worst of the worst. Because I know some people, like, they just had a runny nose or something. I don't fucking know, but me, it hit me hard. Like, I had all the symptoms, all of them, and that shit sucked. And I'm just very grateful. Grateful for nurses, doctors, everything, the Lord, everything. But yeah, so I'm gonna cut this video right now because I have to go do laundry. But I'll see you guys next time in my next video. The next video will be a little bit more uplifting and happy and funny as fuck, so stay tuned for that video. But yeah, you guys, just stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.